My name is Rachel Calloway. I was the person who protected and kept the group going without issues until I decided to stop. I worked at Ironbridge Financial Group, a mid-size financial consulting firm outside of Columbus, Ohio. I was the senior budget analyst, which really meant I was the one who built everything, every report, every forecast, every corrective flag. Have you ever been the engine of a machine, while someone else took credit for the horsepower? That was me. For 4 years. My manager was a man named Derek Hollis. Derek had the title. Derek had the corner office. Derek had the handshakes at every board meeting. What Derek didn't have was a clue. He didn't read the reports. He didn't attend the detail briefings. He showed up. He smiled. He signed. And I let him, because I was building something, and I needed time. Then came the audit, a $500,000 budget deficit, flagged by an outside firm. The board called an emergency review, and Derek walked into that room and pointed at me, right at me, in front of the CFO, in front of board chair Margaret Voss, in front of everyone. He said my reports failed to catch the discrepancies. He said I hadn't escalated properly. He said, and listen closely, he said he'd trusted me too much. 4 years of work, 4 years of documented, detailed, flagged, and formatted reports. And in 5 minutes, he tried to put $500,000 on my shoulders. Have you ever had someone use your competence against you? Make your thoroughness look like negligence. I felt something cold move through me. Not panic, not anger, something quieter than that. I thought, okay, Derek, let's see what you signed. Here's what Derek didn't know. Every report I ever produced had a footer, a standard footer I designed myself 3 years ago. It read, corrective action required, manager review mandatory, and below that line, a signature field, and below that, a date field. Derek had been signing those reports every month. For 3 years. He signed them at his desk. He signed them on his phone. He signed them. I know this because Tina Morales told me. Sometimes while he was on personal calls. Tina was the office admin. She'd been there 12 years. She saw everything. She never said a word. Until I asked her, have you ever noticed that the quietest person in the building remembers absolutely everything? I didn't react in that room. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even lean forward. I took notes. I went back to my desk. I pulled 3 years of signed reports, 38 documents, every one of them, Derek's name, Derek's date, Derek's signature. I organized them into a single file, chronological, clean. I sent 1 copy to my personal email, 1 copy to my attorney, and I waited for the follow-up meeting. The follow-up review was scheduled for a Thursday. Margaret Voss ran it herself. Derek came in confident, still in performance mode, still telling his trusted my team story. Margaret looked at me and asked, did I have anything to add? I said yes. I opened my laptop. I pulled up the file. I said, every report cited in the audit was flagged. Every flag carried a required action notice, and every required action notice was reviewed and signed. I turned the screen toward the board. 38 signatures, all Derek's, all dated, all marked, corrective action required. The room went quiet. So quiet I could hear the air conditioning. Derek said he didn't recall the footer. Margaret said that wasn't a defense. Have you ever watched someone realize, in real time, that the trapdoor was already open? His face didn't fall all at once. It went slowly, like a building coming down floor by floor. HR called Derek in that same afternoon. The meeting lasted 40 minutes. I know because Tina timed it. He walked out the door at 4:47 p.m. box in his hands. Badge left on the desk. The board cited gross negligence. 3 years of signed, unread compliance documents. A $500,000 deficit he'd been warned about. On paper, more than a dozen times. His name was removed from the directory by Friday morning. The update came a week later. Exploring new opportunities. That's what they always say, isn't it? Have you ever watched someone who thought they were untouchable? Realize they were only protected by your silence. The moment I stopped being silent, there was nothing left to shield him. The board asked me to step into his role, interim at first, then permanent. I said yes, but I negotiated the salary first. Don't skip that part. I'm sitting in that corner office now, the one Derek used to pace around in. It's quieter than I expected. I reorganized the entire reporting system. The footer is still there. I kept it. I updated it. It now requires 2 levels of sign-off because I know what happens. When one person thinks nobody's watching, the deficit was recovered within 2 quarters. The board called my restructuring plan precisely what this team needed. Tina still brings me coffee sometimes. I always thank her by name, because she didn't have to tell me about those calls. But she did. And that's the thing about people who see everything. When they choose to speak, you listen. Have you ever realized that the person who saved you wasn't the loudest one in the room? Listen closely. If you're the one doing the work, document it. All of it. Every flag, every footer, every signature. Not because you're paranoid, because you're professional. Your paper trail is your armor. Your paper trail is your power. Derek thought he was safe because he thought I was just an analyst. He forgot, analysts know where everything is kept. Don't get upset when they come for you. Get organized, get quiet, get ready. If you've ever had to take your power back, tell me your story in the comments. I read every single one. Share this with someone who thinks they're out of options. They're not. They just haven't opened the folder yet. We're just getting started here. He didn't just sign those reports. He signed his own ending.